All right, checkered flag is out. We also do have a spinner over in that second turn area, which wraps up our simulated warm-ups tonight, the 65. All right, warm-ups wrapping up for Crate Late Models in Jeremy Pokerton in Loveville, Maryland, the number 8 machine. First time at the Speedway this year. And troubles on the backstretch for Tommy Arnold, one up in smoke off at turn number 2, but Pokerton comes away with the fast time at our warm-ups tonight. The 96 front straight away. 32. Another strong competitor, Tyler Fisher. 78, two-time feature winner, Evan Faust. All right, Group A for our Pure Stock drivers wrapping up. 78 of Evan Faust's final car across the stripe in the first group. He will be the top time right now. The 03 of Danny Waters. He'll be number 2 on the board. Danny Walters.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120,
as warm-ups conclude for the night. And for the pure stocks, the 42 of Andrew Seffel will come away as the top timer. 17 of Randy Hudson, as we mentioned, the 0, currently 14th in the steel block clash points. And right now, Lewis just pulling away from his trailer, so we will go with Anderson first in the 00 machine. Joining him, the B8, no, make it the 27 of Trevor Feathers, the opening night late model Sportsman winner here at Hagerstown Speedway. For the driver hailing out of Winchester, Virginia, and the 11P of Ed Pope. Once again, drivers now under the clock. They'll have their 2-lap time trials. This will also determine the starting order for their respective heat races coming up in a little bit. And with this field, there will be a 10-lap last chance race coming up tonight here at the Speedway. Anderson, first driver back to the track to go on the clock. 19.789 seconds will be at first lap time. Feathers to the stripe will be at 19.834. That will put him second in the early going on the pylon. And back to the stripe, lap number 1 coming up for the 11P of Ed Pope. Driver to Hanover, Maryland will be at 21.958. The driver normally in crate late model action, but he is doing some steel block racing here in this Clash Series. 19.807, the final lap. For Andy Anderson, a 19.748 puts Feathers on top of the board in that 27 machine. Pope in the 11P, the Hanover, Maryland driver back to the stripe. His final lap going to be a 21.909. They will have that driver in the number 3 position right now. So again, Trevor Feathers on the top of the board. He sets the benchmark tonight, but here comes the number 2 man in steel block clash points at 24, Kenny Moreland out of Waldorf, Maryland. Twice a runner-up in steel block clash races, once a runner-up in super late model action at Potomac, and a limited late model winner as he makes his way across the stripe. He'll be joined by the 151, the 2-time late model Sportsman winner at Hagerstown Speedway, Kyle Lear to Savannah Park, Maryland. This is a good trio. The B8 of Tyler Bear to Rockbridge, Baths, Virginia, number 2 in steel block banded points. The board will look interesting when these 3 drivers are done. Moreland to the stripe, 20.097. That will be good enough for the number 3 spot right now. The 2-time winner, Lear, makes his way back to the stripe. Lap number 1 for the 151, 19.823. He'll take third. Here comes the B8 of Bear, and he'll go tops on the board. 19.614 for Tyler Bear. Second lap for Moreland, 19.574. Kenny right now will be tops on the board. As Lear makes it back to the stripe, the 151 will be at 19.828. Right now that's got him 5th. Bear back to the stripe. He'll go back up top with a 19.381. So good back and forth between Tyler Bear and Kenny Moreland, the top 2 drivers in the second group and overall in steel block clash qualifying. Trevor Feathers right now 3rd, Andy Anderson and Kyle Lear the top 5. Next up on the track, the 5.56 of Eric Cronies out of Boonesboro, Maryland. He'll be out there joined by the 99, being driven by Cody Lear, a one-time winner at Clinton County Speedway, number 6 in the steel block clash points right now for the driver out of Manchester, Maryland. And the final driver out, the defending late model champion here at Hagerstown Speedway, the 33K of Devin Hart from Port Royal, Pennsylvania. Problems heading for Eric Cronies, so the 5.56 is not under power as he drifts it back into the infield area. So Lear and Hart grab the green flag in group number 3. Cody Lear back to the stripe of the 99C, 20 seconds flat. That will put him in the number 6 position on the board right now. Devin Hart, our defending track champion. And Tevin right now 7th, 20.275 as he's trying to find some speed in that 33K. Lear making his way back, as we mentioned, number 6 in steel block clash points, 19.767, a better lap. He moves up to number 4 on the board right now. Tevin Hart trying to improve likewise, a 33K, and he'll move up to 5th at 19.770. Next up on the track, it's a 74, your current steel block clash late model points leader, the 74 of Derek Quaid out of Mechanicsville, Maryland, the 36 of Sam Archer out of Waldorf, Maryland, also on track, and the 15 of Dale Hollidge out of Clements, Maryland. And right now, Archer, number 5 in the series points. Hollidge, number 4. Quaid, the point leader. And defending Steel Block Bandage champion and the winner at Hagerstown Speedway a year ago, coming back to the stripe in the 74 machine. Quickly, top of the board, 19.174 for Derek Quaid. Archer, fastest in warm-ups a week ago, the 36 right now. 9th on the board at 20.353 and back to the stripe. Here comes Hollidge in the 15, a 19.974. Final lap, and it's going to be a 19.156 for Derek Quaid as he scorches the field here in the latest group. Archer in the 36, back to the stripe. He'll be 10th on the board, 20.294 right now. And Hollidge, as he comes back, he was 8th on the board on lap number 1, 20.264, as they wrap up the latest trio. So right now, Derek Quaid, Tyler Baer, Kenny Moreland, Trevor Feathers, and Cody Lear, the top 5 in Steel Block Clash qualifying. Next up, the 2+2 of Cody Kirshner at Greencastle, Pennsylvania. The 21 being powered by Jacob Piper at Mercersburg, PA. And the third and final driver of this group going to be the 28D of Gerald Davis out of Augusta, West Virginia. White flag out for our latest group. Kirshner at 20.979 as he comes to the stripe. Piper in the 21. And he'll go 10th on the board, 20.089 that time by. Davis in the 28D. He's been following the series. He goes 9th on the board, 19.931 on lap number 1. Here comes Kirshner back to the stripe in the 2+2 machine, 19.586. He climbs up into the number 4 position. 21 of Piper also looking to improve on lap number 2, 19.974. And the final lap coming by for Davis will have him down to the number 10 position at 20.309. So Kirshner makes a little inroads on the pylon. He's number 4 behind Quaid, Baer, and Moreland. Looks like a couple of drivers left to go. The 88C of Chuck Cox III out of Nottingham, Maryland. He is scheduled to go. As we mentioned, Lewis Hudson was late to the call in the 0 machine. He could not come out with that initial group, so he still has some laps coming as well. And Group 2 Steel Block Time Trials already making their way into the staging area. We're going to have the opening ceremonies, the presentation of the Fast Time Award. Who's that going to be? And right now, Derek Quaid trying to set his sights on that. A lot of heavyweights still to come. .426, lap number 1 for the Nottingham, Maryland driver, Chuck Cox in the 88C. So 21.153 wraps it up with the 88C of Chuck Cox with one driver left in Group A time trials. This will be the 0 of Lewis Hudson in Waynesboro, Virginia. Driver that did participate in the events at Potomac. Lewis right now 14th in the Steel Block Clash late model Sportsman points. The Group 2 qualifying already lining up in the staging area and getting set. And trouble for Hudson off at turn number 4. Just does miss that inside barrier. Gathers it back up and grabs the green flag. So right now, Derek Quaid, Tyler Baer, Kenny Moreland, Cody Kirshner, and Trevor Feathers, the top 5. Cody Lear back in the number 6 spot. Hudson under the stripe, 21.379 on that lap, which wrap up our Group A late model Sportsman time trials. We mentioned those top 5. Cody Lear 6, Devin Hart 7th, Andy Anderson in the number 8 spot, Kyle Lear 9th, and Gerald Davis wraps up the top 10 in Group A, qualifying for the Steel Block Clash drivers. All right, time for Group 2, the 37S F of Wesley Bonebrake at Hagerstown, number 2 man in late model Sportsman points so far this year at Hagerstown. will be our first driver out. Last weekend, great second or top 5 run for the 16D of Justin Dillman into Charlestown, West Virginia. He'll be the number 2 driver out, and the 01 of Matt Glendon out of Denton, Maryland, making his way out. .3 seconds for the 37F of West Bonebrake. Dillman back to the stripe, 21.263 on his initial lap. Glendon making it back to the stripe to the 01 machine. He'll be at 21.319, which will have him in third. Final lap for Bonebrake, 20.814, keeps him as the early leader in group number 2. Dillman to the stripe in the 16, 20.3 seconds flat. And we'll put him number 2, and Glendon in the 01 will be at 20.261. That will put Glendon number 1 on the board in the 01 machine at 20.261 after group number 1. Second group to make their way out, it'll be the 13D being powered by Jonathan DeHaven out of Winchester, Virginia. Number 4 in our late model Sportsman points here at the Speedway. 22, Casey Steinhoff. Very good run last weekend in the top 5 for the Millville, Pennsylvania driver. And the 25, Jonathan Whaley out of Hollywood, Maryland. All right, DeHaven working back to the stripe as our second group of Group B qualifying tonight here at the Speedway. The 13D will be a 20.856 right now in fourth. Steinhoff in the 22. He will be third right now, 20.419. Rayleigh to the stripe, 20.981. As Matt Glendon still holds court in the number 1 spot on the pylon. DeHaven for lap number 2, back to the stripe. 13D will be a 20.097. That will put him tops on the board right now in Group 2. Steinhoff in the 22, 20.326. And the 25, Rayleigh, will be a 20.766, which will have him currently 5th in Group 2. Well, last weekend, Brad Om's very good run in the 5 machine at Winchester, Virginia, returning back to the Speedway for his qualifying effort. The driver that's a leader in the Steel Block Bandits points on their tour, the 22E Russell Irwin out of Beaver Dam, Virginia, and the 11 of Austin Warrenfeldt out of Williamsport, Maryland. Irwin with 3 victories so far this year on the Steel Block Bandit Series, and right now just a 1-point edge over Tyler Bear as Brad Oms takes the white flag, 20.485 on lap number 1. Here comes Irwin back to the stripe, 21.566 for the driver of the 22. And Warrenfeldt in the number 11 back to the stripe, 20.601 for Austin. That will move him up into the number 6 spot. Second lap for Umps in the 5, 20.672 that time by. Irwin in the 22 trying to improve. Tops on the board, 19.691 for the Steel Block Bandits point leader, Russell Irwin. And the 11 of Warrenfeldt back to the stripe. He'll go at 20.612. So good second lap for Russell Irwin as he goes tops on the board. DeHaven now number 2, Glendon third. Bonebrake will be 4th. And the 22 of Casey Steinhoff, the top 5 in Group 2 so far. All right, latest group out on the track, the 81 of Daniel Garrett out of Freeland, Maryland. DJ right now 8th in the number Steel Block Bandits points, or I should say the Steel Block Clash points. 28Z of Ryan Zook out of Mifflintown, Pennsylvania. 2-time winner at the Port Royal Speedway. And the 92 of Frankie Gordon of Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. Trouble for DJ Garrett high in turn 2 during our latest time trials as he tries to whip it back around, but everybody's slowed down right now. This event, so $200 going to our Fast Time Award winner. We'll have that presentation and some other special announcements during our pre-race, which will be coming up shortly. So the 81 and DJ Garrett pulls it off into the pit area as Ryan Zook and Frankie Gordon get back up to speed. Green flag out for both as the 22 of Russell Irwin continues to lead in Group 2. The 92 of Gordon, lap number 1, 20.075, and that is indeed a good lap for Frankie. Puts him number 2 right up behind Russell Irwin. And Zook back to the stripe for the 28Z. He will go number 2, 19.803 for the two-time late model feature winner at a PA. Gordon back to the stripe for the 92. Let's see what lap number 2 produces, 20.555. That will keep him number 3 on this second round board. As Zook brings the 28Z back to the stripe, and he'll put it number 1, 19.645 for the Mifflintown, Pennsylvania driver Ryan Zook. So that will move Irwin to number 2. Frankie Gordon, a very solid lap in that 92. Third to Haven, fourth, and Matt Glendon right now the number 5 spot. The 86 of Scott Palmer next on track, the driver to Greencastle, Pennsylvania. Current late model Sportsman point leader at Hagerstown, the 44 of Sean Shoemaker at Mount Union, PA, and the 49 of Ray Ciccarelli out of Upper Co, Maryland. Palmer in the 86, bringing it back to the stripe. Always very good in the initial parts of nights when he comes to warm-ups. And right now he's number 10 on the board in Group 2, 20.624. Shoemaker brings the 44 back to the stripe, 20.654. And Ciccarelli will be at 20.299. That will put the 49 up into the number 6 spot. He looked very good in warm-ups tonight, and he backs it up in qualifying. Palmer's 86, he will be a 20.693 on lap number 2. Shoemaker trying to get that 44 up on the pylon, 19.911. That will move him to 3rd overall in this group. And the 49 is Ciccarelli, 20.263. So Ryan Zook still holds the number 1 spot in Group 2 over Russell Irwin with 1 driver left to go. This will be the 94, Brandon Bard out of Greencastle, PA. Tough break for Brandon Bard initially. He'll get another lap around before we get going here in our final late model Sportsman time trial. Right now the time to beat the 19.156 set by your current points leader, Derek Quaid. And Bard again very gingerly through turn number 3 and 4 gets the green flag this time by. Simulate drivers for your heat races. Simulate drivers, heat race number 1. You can make your way to the staging area. Simulate drivers for heat race number 1. You can make your way to the staging area. .549 for the 94 Brandon Bard as he works down the back straightaway. The final late model Sportsman driver in the steel block clash to take time tonight. And the final time of the final card, 21.464 for the driver 94, Brandon Bard out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania. So unofficially, looks like the 74, Derek Quaid, our top qualifier tonight, as he continues that role in steel block clash. Late model action, 19.156, the top time for the driver in Mechanicsville, Maryland. Where do you get the Well, we don't get to see him very often, so fans, put your hands together. Your top qualifier tonight in our steel block class, Derek Quaid out of Mechanicsville, Maryland. My friend, good to see you. I don't get a chance to talk to you very often. Doug hogs you down at Potomac Speedway. Good start to the season. I mean, I know you've only got the chance to do the Potomac events, but let's go back a year ago. Steel Block Bandits came here, huge field of cars when it was that series. You were the points leader at the time. I want to take you back. How good did it feel to win at Hagerstown with that group of cars here and winning your home state on that night?
Oh, that was huge. That was one of our biggest wins. It's awesome to be able to beat that many guys, that many good guys. Anytime you can win anywhere these days, it's good, but something like that was special.
And you know, you've done something even more impressive. You and Kenny Moreland, you've done very well down at Potomac Speedway in some good steel block clash fields, the two that you had. But even more impressive, the weekend of Memorial Day when the super late models were down there, you guys, both of you in limiteds, turned back some very good super late model cars. I know you guys know that track like the back of your hand, but it takes a total team effort. A lot of guys back here, I'm sure, did a lot of work for you, but you're very much a natural down at Potomac. But that had to be pretty huge for you and Kenny to collect those top 2 spots that night as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's our home track. Didn't have quite as much moisture as his place has, so it kind of falls in our hands a little bit, but we love that place. Appreciate all the help. You can see there's 10 of them down there now turning wrenches and helping out, scraping mud, so appreciate everybody.
Now, I know you guys had to be thinking, oh my God, it's going to be triple-digit weather. The heat's pretty much gone, the humidity's a bear. You guys are going to lose some pounds in those race cars tonight. Track does have some moisture in it. What do you see between now and when you go out for your heat races and the main event? You see the track changing a lot, or you see it maintain a lot of moisture tonight with what Brian's done?
It's definitely going to hold some moisture, but it's going to change some. It'll progress through the night, I'm sure. Hopefully, my thoughts are right, but it'll slick off eventually.
Well, Taylor Hollins is with us tonight from Potomac Speedway. Taylor, I know that the first event that we had, we could not get because of rain. So the fine folks at MB Sports Collectibles that are with us each and every week, they had a $100 award to be given out to the fast timers. So you got that, and Ernie Dees also came up with some money. Did you talk Ernie into that?
I did not. That was Josh. So Ernie gave another $100, so it's actually a $200 fast time, but I already gave the money to your wife.
All right, we know what what's Shannon going to do with the money? All right, I just want to know, what's Shannon going to do?
It's about enough. She'll buy me a time.
She's standing right behind you. She's not paying attention. She acts like she's not, but be careful.
She's not usually, so.
Hey, great job tonight. Who would you like to thank for getting you here so far at this point tonight?
Oh, everybody. We got so many sponsors, and we brought the motor in tonight, and it's chock full of people, so all of them to come in here and support us and follow along with us. We appreciate everybody.
All right, he brought the St. Mary's County crowd with him tonight here at Hagerstown Speedway. Derek Quaid, your fast time winner. We're going to have Elwood Sword deliver our invocation this evening. Elwood?
Thank you. Let us pray. Dear Lord, we come to you tonight to be restored, to be renewed in you, to receive your life and your love with all the grace and mercy we so desperately need. We honor you as our Lord and surrender every aspect of our lives to you. We know not what lie before us, but ask for the strength and courage to overcome all situations. Tonight, we ask for safety within our crews, dear Lord. Safety with the drivers, safety with the track personnel. This we ask in your name. Amen.
Elwood, thank you so very much. Best of luck tonight. All right, folks, we are just about set. Upstairs, we found her. So, we need to find, where is she? It's little Charlotte, right? Oh, Bristol Bard. Folks, this is Bristol Bard, and it's Bristol's birthday. Is it today, Brandon? It is today. So we're gonna put her up on the shoulder, and we've got a singing duo, trio, I don't know who, but we're gonna have somebody singing. They're gonna try to sing happy birthday for you. Go ahead.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bristol. Happy birthday to you. Now tell your dad to go get a win for you.
And what do you say, Bristol?
Thank you.
All right, Bristol Bard enjoying a good night here at Hagerstown Speedway. And with that said, folks, we are ready to go racing simulates. And heat race number 1. 81 inches. Big one coming up next weekend. That Dirty 30 should be good. We understand many drivers from down the road and other racetracks will be on hand to battle it out for that $1,500 to win payday. So we look forward to the Simulate Dirty 30 for these guys coming up next weekend here at Hagerstown. Wilson in the 65. Giesemann, the defending champ of the 81. They get set to take us back to green. Going to be Wilson out of the box rather quickly. It's Giesemann in second spot, Stoner up to third, Miller in fourth, and the top 5 made up by the 69 of Dwayne Schneider, the outside pole sitter. Single file as he working back for lap number 2. Well, out of shape for Wilson. Climbs a banking, and by the time he gathers it back up, losing 2 spots down the back straightaway to 2 of the best. That'll be Giesemann and Stoner both getting around him. They'll come back for 2 laps to go. Top 3 very tight, led by Giesemann. Giesemann will hold a couple of car lengths advantage. Another 2 back from Stoner over Wilson. Those are the top 3 down the back straightaway. Miller, the sophomore driver of the 88Z, holding on to 4th. Schneider in 5th as he come back for the white flag this time. Simulate heat race number 2 about to make its way out onto the track after this checkered flag is done. In the meantime, Jason Giesemann, the one-time winner a year ago and the champion in the 81, working his way back into turn number 3 and 4. Stoner tries to shove it down in there down low, but going to be Giesemann coming across to take the checkered flag in qualifier number 1. Jason Stoner in second, Dylan Wilson third, Isaiah Miller, and it will be Dwayne Schneider as our top 5 finisher. So the 81 of Jason Giesemann, our defending Simulate champion, taking the heat race number. So we mentioned 4 qualifying runs for the Steel Block Clash drivers. 8 laps in distance coming up right after this, to be followed by our Crate Late Model heat races, and then the heat races for the Pure Stock drivers. All right, green flag is out in qualifier number 2 as it's going to be the 59 Ryan Smith grabbing that early lead down into turn number 1 and 2. But here comes Cody Seitz in the 88K on that inside, grabbing that second spot. Mills in the 25, climbing the banking from the outside pole and drops to the back of the field as the leaders head off in the 3 and 4. And looks like Seitz is going to hold that lead, and that number 99K machine back to the stripe for lap number 1. Mills will be in his tire tracks, followed by the number 1 at Deacon Schneider. '38 of Kevin Kuhn's already headed off into the pit area on lap number 1. Second lap about to go in the books. He may have lost that lead, but the 59 of Ryan Smith sticking right there as best he can with Cody Seitz as he come back for lap number 2. Schneider, the number 1, still within striking distance in third position. Fourth right now going to the 17 of Jim Farley as we get set for the 2 to go indication. And trouble for Schneider off turn number 4, and he lays down some oil in that third, and they'll make it first and second turn. And tough break for Deacon Schneider, the Hancock, Maryland driver, running a very good third, but does go up in smoke, and you can see that line of oil back in the 1-2 turn as he is able to get it off into the pit area. Some souvenirs, Hagerstown Speedway merchandise, as well as merchandise for Kyle Hardy, Kyle Lee. Check them out and see what they got. You may see something you like down there, so stop on by while we have a break. Red flag is going to be coming out right here on the front straightaway, as we'll allow our crews the opportunity to go ahead and get that oil sopped up here in turn number 1 and 2. All right, green flag is back out of the air. Cody Seitz grabbed that lead from Ryan Smith earlier, and now he is heading down the back straightaway pretty much by his lonesome. 17 of Jim Parley in second spot, 25 Jeremy Mills in third. 2 to go indication coming back to the stripe this time by. All right, field back to the stripe, white flag, and the final lap in Simulate Qualifier number 2 tonight. Cody Seitz well in control of this one. Farley in the 17, back to the stripe for the number 2 spot. Late model Sportsman drivers, Steel Block Clash, heat race number 1. They are getting set and lined up for theirs. Checker flag in our second Simulate Qualifier. Cody Seitz in that 99R out of Harrisburg, PA, coming away with the victory. 17A of Jim Farley will come home in second spot, and the third and final position to the 25 of Jeremy Mills. Well, 3,000 on the line tonight here at Hagerstown Speedway. Again, 6 cars, top 5 to transfer into the A main here this evening. Again, heat race number 2 for Steel Block Clash late models. You can make your way to the staging area. Quaid and Moreland, they have been 1-2 a lot this year in limited and super late model competition, and they'll bring us to the green flag in our first qualifier tonight. Quaid will grab that lead early as he heads it off into the 1-2 turn. Moreland down bottom. Trevor Feathers already trying to make something happen. He can't do it. Moreland will be second. Almost a 3-wide battle. It could still be. Lear thinks better of it. It's going to be Feathers, Hart, and Lear right there in third spot with Quaid leading lap number 1. Quaid brings it back into the 1-2 turn. A little bit above that lowest groove. Going to be Moreland in second. Lear got around Devin Hart. He slides up the banking a little bit. Hart shoots down to the inside. Feathers will be third. Hart and Lear side by side for the number 4 position here on lap number 2. And again, Lear a little out of shape off of that 4th turn, enough to allow Devin Hart the momentum to get by him. And now quickly, Hart to the inside of Trevor Feathers. And then he goes backwards a little bit. Just couldn't get the car set right off that 2nd turn. Feathers almost lifted Devin Hart off of the ground. from the rear end. Those two a very tight third. Quaid to the stripe. Moreland is second, and that fierce battle between Feathers and Hart is right behind that 24 machine. Feathers will get the spot. Going to be Hart in fourth. Lear still trying to rebound the number 5 spot. Hart and Feathers continue their side-by-side war as Quaid opens up a 3/4 of a turn lead. Now it's Feathers going way high. Lear to the bottom side, 3 wide off turn number 4. Lear takes 2 spots in 1 turn, and Archer spins it off turn 4. And Feathers. Really good battle between those two in these first 4 laps. Archer now tags on to the rear, and we get set to go back to green. All right, green flag back in the air as Quaid leads him back into 1 and 2. Lear going to go top shelf on Kenny Moreland, grabbing that number 2 spot. Great comeback for the Severna Park, Maryland driver. He was back in 5th. He was in a transfer spot, but he really was left for dead early, and he has come back to life as he takes the number 2 spot. Moreland right now in 3rd. It's going to be Feathers in 4th, and Archer trying to get on Devin Hart to get around him and get that transfer position. But Hart, for the moment, has opened up about a 5-car length advantage with Archer back there in the number 6 position. 2 to go, this time off turn 4. Feathers swings it wide, and that allows Devin Hart to get off the bubble and into 4th. Feathers will be 5th. Sam Archer a good distance back in the number 6 position, but now Trevor Feathers struggling with the handle on that car, and he drops from those front 4 machines. White flag, meanwhile in the air for Derek Quaid this time. Final time. Now once in second, Lear began to close a little bit, but Derek Quaid has kept a good 7-8 car length distance in that 74 machine. As the top qualifier works it off at turn 4, Derek Quaid coming away with the first qualifying heat event victory. Kyle Lear will be second, Kenny Moreland, Devin Hart, and Trevor Feathers. They will be the top 5, transferring into tonight's 30-lap late model Sportsman feature event. So Derek Quaid.
Driver's green flag this time, B8, you are the pole setter. You can start anytime after the striped orange pole in 3 and 4.
Well, we mentioned last year the Steel Block Bandits were here. We have created a Steel Block Clash series between 3 tracks, Potomac, Hagerstown, and Winchester, with Winchester still to have their 2 for the year. But as we mentioned, Bear, he is very strong this year on the Bandit Series, second in the points, and he looks to grab the lead off turn number 4 as we head back to the stripe. Cody Lear quickly jumps to the inside of Cody Kirshner, trying to make some noise on the inside. The one-time feature winner at Clinton County. Here comes Anderson down to the bottom side. That low side momentum off a 2 shoots him around Kirshner up into 3rd with the 28D of Gerald Davis. 3 wide as they come off a turn number 4. Bear will be the leader. It'll be Anderson in 2nd. Kirshner trying to hold on to 3rd. Lear in the number 4 spot on the high side. And Ben Davis, he's got 5th, but here comes the 21 of Jacob Piper looking for a transfer spot. Lear trying to rebound after he got around Kirshner the lap before. He grabs that spot, goes way high. Now Kirshner slams the gas. Here comes Davis to the inside, and both those drivers get back around the 99 of Lear and puts him back on the bubble. All the while, Tyler Bear in the BA with a good lead. Anderson in 2nd, but 3rd on back, just like it was in heat race number 1. That's a Hornet's Nest led by Kirshner in that 2+2 machine. Piper now moves around the 99 of Lear. That will give him the transfer position in heat race number 2 right now, as he goes on the hunt after Gerald Davis and trying to see if he can move up a little bit further in the order. Meanwhile, up front, going to be Bear taking the cross flags for halfway in the B8 machine this time by. Anderson, 3 to 4 car lengths back in 2nd. Kirshner, a comfortable 3rd. Davis in 4th. Piper got 5th, and Lear not letting him out of his sights right now. On the outside looking in. Chuck Cox back in 7th spot. Ed Pope in the 11P holding on to 8th as the leaders come back for lap 5. They're beginning to stretch that distance out to that B8 machine. And Piper with a good run off at turn 2 as Davis gave him plenty of racing room, and the Mercersburg PA driver, the 21, slides underneath and up into 4th. Davis now on the bubble, but he's got a little bit of a gap over Cody Lear as they come back for lap number 6, which is the 2-to-go sign. Bear, meanwhile, opening up the advantage. He was only 3 or 4 car lengths, but looks like there could be trouble for Andy Anderson. That 00 is just not up to snuff. As we're watching him, it's a turn advantage now for Tyler Bear, and Anderson's 00 down to the bottom of the racetrack. Definitely in trouble. Kirshner gets around him. Piper goes around him, and here comes Gerald Davis likewise. White flag is in the air. Anderson trying to hold on, but one more car. And that's Cody Lear gets around him, and that's the transfer spot right now in tonight's second qualifier. In the meantime, Bear back to the stripe for the victory. Going to be Kirshner coming home in second. Piper in the 21 third. Gerald Davis will be 4th. And Cody Lear rounds out the top 5. So an impressive victory for the V8 of Tyler Bear at Rockbridge Pads, Virginia, and a heartbreaker. Mentioned the 28Z of Ryan Zook, twice a winner at Port Royal at one time early this year. He was the point leader at 3 different racetracks, including Hagerstown, so he has had some early season success. Right now, he's looking to transfer that to a steel block clash heat race win as he grabs the lead and takes the field back down into turn number 1 and 2. Shoemaker with the 44 in second. Again, the Hornets' Nest back in third. Steinhoff, good top 5 run a week ago. 2x2 racing from third on back. Steinhoff into Haven side by side. And it's going to be the 86 of Palmer right to the inside of Glandon, trying to steal that transfer position here on lap number 1. To Haven, the crossover move on Steinhoff. Puts the 13D to the bottom, and now into third. Here comes Palmer to the inside. He'll take 4th, and the 94 of Bard likewise trying to get up there and get a transfer position as well. All the while, the 28Z of Ryan Zook, 2 quick laps in the books as he comes back to the stripe with a healthy lead over the 44 of Sean Shoemaker, Palmer, Steinhoff, and DeHaven. Right now, that's your top 5. 94 of Brandon Bard. He's trying to get in. He's to the inside of DeHaven. Not going to work that time, but a very tight 6th. Glandon 7th, and Dillman holding on to 8th. Bard to the 94. Very impressive run for that driver, as Brandon had a good qualifying run earlier tonight. The driver to Greencastle, PA, had a little bit of troubles and had to start to the outside of row number 3, actually, and now he's worked his way up off the transfer spot into 4th position around Steinhoff. As Zook takes him back to the stripe, it's going to be Shoemaker and Palmer, Bard and Steinhoff. But you got to Haven and Glandon. They're still well within the hunt, and the battle right now is on for second. Palmer looking to the inside of Shoemaker. Right behind them, Steinhoff and Bard. They're side by side now for the number 4 spot. And Steinhoff sliding under Bard off turn number 4 will retake the number 4 position. And right up in front of them, Shoemaker and Palmer continue their battle. 2 good battles in the top 5. The 01 of Bank Landon, he had a good qualifying run. He's gotten back around the 13D of DeHaven. And for the moment, he's in 6th position, trying to see if he can gain one more spot with 2 laps to go. Trouble almost in turn number 4. It is now. Bard almost spun. DeHaven does off that 4th turn. So Zook on the point. As we mentioned, Palmer, he's got a victory at Baps. Zook with a couple of victories at Port Royal. Shoemaker the point leader. Steinhoff a top 5 just a week ago. Bard the 94 very strong tonight. Those are the 5 right now with 2 laps to go, but we look for a lot of shuffling going on here in these final 2 circuits. Green flag, back out. And Matt Glandon wants to get a transfer spot. He puts Dillman as the meat in the sandwich. Bard was on the high side. And right now that 3-wide battle cools down a little bit. Bard is trying for dear life to pinch down the 01 of Glandon. Shoemaker way high in turn number 3 and 4, almost like he was going to spin. Zook brings him back for the white flag. Palmer, Steinhoff, Shoemaker, and Bard. That's the top 5 for the final lap. DeHaven, Dillman, and Glandon, they are all right there. The 94 of Brandon Bard, he's feeling the heat down the back straightaway, trying to get that final position off turn 4. Going to be Ryan Zook of the 28Z. taking the third late model Sportsman qualifier. Palmer will be second. Drag race back to the stripe. Give it to Steinhoff, Shoemaker, and the 94 of Brandon Bard. Been some very intense racing and some great racing in these first three qualifiers tonight, and still, of course, a consolation event to determine the remaining starting spots in tonight's 30-lap, $3,000 to win feature event. 5 of these drivers will be okay for a while. The rest will have to battle with some very talented competition in that 10-lap consi, which will be coming up here in just a bit. In the meantime, who are the remaining 5 in heat race number 4? Irwin and Gordon lead us to the green. Irwin grabs a lead. Ciccarelli in his second. Going to be Gordon third. Brad Umps, good run last week of the 5 car. He is holding on to fourth. And then Bonebrake, and they're really jamming up from fourth on back, and that opens a door for Jonathan Whaley to go to the inside. It started with Umps. Bonebrake had nowhere to go. He had to jam on the brakes. Warren Phelps likewise, and Rayleigh takes it to his advantage, and right now he's trying to get fourth. Pinches Umps down the back straightaway. Here comes Bonebrake to the inside. He wants the transfer spot. Meanwhile, up front, going to be Irwin, the leader. Ciccarelli sliding wide. Gordon goes to second. Ciccarelli third. Rayleigh and Bonebrake. Right now, they're the top 5 at lap 2. All right, 3 laps in the books tonight here at Hagerstown in our 4th and final Steel Block Clash qualifier. The 22E Russell Urban already having his problems early tonight, but not on the track. Transmission issues with the hauler, could not even get it inside the speedway, so he is pitting outside the racetrack and having some extra work to do, but he is taking care of business right now. Back to the stripe for halfway. Frankie Gordon, a great run. And that number 92, the Mercersburg, Pennsylvania driver, solidly in second. Ciccarelli in the 49, likewise, having a very good run in third. Bonebrake in fourth. Rayleigh in the 25. He's got fifth, but here comes Brad Umps in the number 5. And that will be the bubble spot they're going to battle for with 5 laps complete this time by. Ken Crate Late Models, he raced number 1 to the staging area. To the stripe, Umps gets around Rayleigh, and that will put him in the transfer position for the moment. Leaders down in turn number 3 and 4. The 2 to go indication coming up for Irwin, the Beaver Dam, Virginia driver, back to the stripe. Now Ciccarelli in the 49 holding on to third, but Bonebrake is tracking him pretty good. He's only a couple of car lengths back, and now Ciccarelli with a better run off that turn. Bonebrake didn't get his good one, and that allowed Brad Umps with some good momentum to close up as well. In the meantime, white flag for Russell Irwin that time by. Gordon still in second, Ciccarelli in third, Bonebrake and Umps, they're your top 5. Final lap for Irwin, and it's a good one as he opens up a half straightaway lead, taking the checkered flag in qualifier number 4 for the Steel Block Clash. Russell Irwin, your Steel Block Bandage point leader, takes the victory. The 92 of Frankie Gordon second, 49 of Ray Ciccarelli, the 37S of Wesley Bonebrake, and the 5 of Brad Umps will be your top 5. So the final Steel Block Clash qualifier tonight, going to the 22E of Russell Irwin, the pole sitter out of Beaver Dam, Virginia, as he takes convincing victory. The 92 of Jacob Witt on the front row with him. Allman and Woodward second. Again, 6 laps of distance in crate heat race number 1. So to come, a pair of heat races for pure stocks, our Steel Block Clash Consi, and then our feature events will be set to go for the night. 3 and 4, field is off, and it's going to be McBee and Witt side by side back into turn number 1 and 2. And Witt grabbing that spot from the outside. 7 of Allman trying to see if he can get around McBee, and that ties things up. It gets a little jammed up, allowing Trayton Lee in the 2T to get around the 23 of Woodward down the back straightaway. That will move him up into the number 4 position. Now he goes to the bottom side, the number 7 of Allman, and looks to see if he can get that spot. Here comes Tyler Horsell out of nowhere, down to the bottom side. And your point leader trying to steal a couple of spots here quickly in that 14H machine. He'll do it off turn number 2. Leaders back to the stripe, going to be Witt in the 33, making it lap number 2 that time by. McBee in second, Horst in third, Trayton Lee. And now the 7 of Preston Allman. They'll be the early top 5. 33, making the star machine of Alan Witt Jr., that black 33 right behind them. Then the 90 of Tepper as the leaders come back to take halfway. 3 in the books, 3 to go. Here in crate late model heat race number 1. Challenge on the track, the only one right now, and that will be for the number 4 position as the 7 of Allman goes back underneath the Trayton Lee. Meanwhile, your point leader Tyler Horst trying to close up on Jimmy McBee, and all the while a good 3/4 of a turn lead for the 33 of Jacob Witt as he comes back for the 2 to go sign. Horst still digging down bottom, but McBee trying to slam that door shut and able to do it down the back straightaway. Still a car length separation between second and third. 7 of Allman still in fourth. Trayton Lee in the 2T fifth as the white flag comes out this time for Jacob Witt. Trouble that time for McBee, and Horst finally gets that spot off of that 4th turn. Point leader coming into tonight's crate late model action here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Jacob Witt, the 33, number 2 in the series points, and he's going to come back with a very impressive heat race victory as Tyler Horst, the number 1 man that is being chased, comes home in second spot. Drag race back to the stripe, going to give it to the 11 of Jimmy McBee over the 2T of Trayton Lee, with the 7 of Preston Allman making up the top 5. Another winner, and the only other one was Ray Love Jr. out of La Plata, Maryland. He came up one night in the 08 machine and picked up the victory, and those are the only 2 crate late model races we have had so far, but they will be a part of the program again next Saturday, along with the semi-late Dirty 30 that we'll have. Crate race number 3 coming up later tonight as we get set for the second and final qualifier. Sweeney will lead him off into turn number 1 and 2, but he climbs a banking, and that will give Brian Booz the advantage. Here comes McGee and Cody Breeden. Pilkington got underneath Apparel early, as well as Scooter Tippett. He moves up into the number 5 spot. Leaders come back for lap number 1 of this 6-lap qualifier. So it will be Booz in the lead. McGee in second, the Delaware driver, but Breeden looks for the opening down to the bottom. Almost didn't get it as McGee had to turn a little sideways, but Breeden keeps that door open. He'll be side by side for the number 2 spot. The pole sitter Sweeney is fourth as Pilkington, the number 8 machine, trying to do the crossover move on him. He'll grab the number 4 position, and Tippett spins it off at turn 4. Okay, folks, before we go back to green, also a reminder our concession stands are going to be closing in the grandstand area at 10:30. That's about 20 minutes from now, so if anybody needs some additional food or beverages, stop on by our concessions. They will be closing in about 20 minutes. Green flag in the meantime back in the air. Brian Booz on the inside, going to be Breeden on the outside of that 14 machine. Who's going to win the battle? Dead even as they come off at turn number 2 for the top 4 spots. McGee to the inside of Jeremy Pilkington. And then behind them, it's Peril and Sweeney, 2 by 2 by 2, and down to the bottom. Here comes Booz. He'll grab the lead. Breeden in second. Pilkington and McGee still side by side through third. Pilkington trying to use the high side, as is Breeden, and now it's going to be almost single file racing. Booz, Breeden, McGee, Pilkington, and Pilkington still trying to find an opening on that outside and continue to make the top shelf move up on that cushion. Top 3 are nose to tail, and Pilkington powers around McGee and takes the 3rd spot down the front straightaway. Peril back in 4th, and Anderson, the 25. Right now he is the top 5. 4 laps complete here in tonight's crate late model. Qualifier number 2, Pilkington not done. He is still looking to the outside. He has found something on the top shelf side, and he goes to the high side of Cody Breeden. To the bottom side, Brian Booz. White flag in the air this time by. Boy, when you find something up top, you really got to love it, and Jeremy Pilkington has found something to his liking. To the outside of Cody Breeden down the back straightaway. And not quite clear of them yet as they work it into turn 3 and 4. All the while, Brian Booz in the B2 going to come away with the second qualifying victory. Pilkington powers by on the outside. And the number 8 machine, he and Cody Breed not too happy with each other off that second turn. He'll come away with that second place run. The 14 of Cody Breed winds up in third. 34C of Craig Perrell. The 96 of Derek McGee will wind up in the top 5. But some good crate late model heat race action tonight here at the Speedway. All right, the first of 3. All right, Pace Truck heads off into the infield. The 78 of Evan Faust, as we mentioned, he has been the winner the last 2 times here at the Hagerstown Speedway in pure stock action. This is not going to be the start we want, so we will try them once again.
Leave restart, guys. Leave restart.
Mentioned the 17 of Randy Lindenberg earlier tonight, not the 17 on track. That's 7 points.
Alright, 17 of Bosley. You can go anytime after the striped pole in 3 and 4, not before.
Pure stocks have been loaded for bear the last couple of years. So many drivers that still have yet to get those first victories. Last year it was Evan Faust that was so close. This year he's already got a couple. Tyler Fisher in that 32, he's been very strong on the outside. The 42 of Andrew Seffel, always strong. He was a runner-up the last time they were here. And the field stacked up a little bit better this time off turn number 4. Green flag in the air. It'll be Faust to the bottom side, grabbing that lead. Now Fisher with a crossover move down bottom, and he looks to drag race down the backstretch and see if he can get that lead. 19 of Mike Fuller up into third spot. 42 of Seffel. Then the 64 of Crook. Going to be Faust way high on the track. Fisher down low. But Evan Faust will be the leader of lap number 1. Fisher in second. It's going to be Seffel and Fuller side by side for third, with Seffel getting that low side momentum off that second turn. 64 of Cook making the top 5 as he come back for lap number 2. Pure Stock, second qualifier to the staging area, please. And trouble for the 64 of William Crook. Looks like something may have broken on the front end of that machine up front, but maybe a little bit deeper in the situation there. So Crook pulls the 64 in the pits. 2 laps of 5 in our first of 3 Pure Stock qualifiers in the books. Evan Faust in the 78, Tyler Fisher in the 32 on that front row. Green back in the air, and Faust quickly assumes that number 1 spot. Seffel in the 42. He had some work to do. Started on the outside of the 4th row. Dead last in this race in 8th. He's moving up into 2nd to the inside of Tyler Fisher right now. 19 of Fuller, and then the 12 of Thompson. They make up the top 5 as the field comes back for the 2 to go sign. And the 17 of Bosley spins it off at turn number 4, and caution quickly back out on the track. Tyler Fisher in the 32, Mike Fuller in that 19, back in that 2nd row. No matter who the challenger is, Evan Faust is up for it. The 78 really up to the gearbox quickly and grabs that lead again. Tyler Fisher trying to see if he can reclaim a spot, and Thompson now spins it off turn 2. So the 12 of David Thompson, the most recent casualty in this caution-laden event. And it's one of those nights, the 08 of Glenn Grimm. We had a dump down of fluid in turn 1 and 2 earlier tonight in a previous race, and now it looks like the 08 has dropped a lot in turn 3 and 4. So that will necessitate some track cleanup once again. All right, once again, all systems go on the racetrack. Everything taken care of down in turn number 3 and 4 as we get set to get back to green here. 3 of the 5, and Pure Stock qualifier number 1 complete. Green flag back in the air in tonight's first qualifier, and for yet another time, it's going to be fouls charging out. Fisher to the inside of Safel this time, gets the better of him and gets in the second spot. Fuller back and forth, Thompson fifth, Bosley in the number 6 spot. Leaders coming back to the stripe, white flag in the air in the first qualifier. All right, checkered in the air. Qualifier number 1, and Evan Fowles continuing that strong run this season early. The 78 takes the victory, and another close finish across the stripe. 32 of Tyler Fisher will be second, 42 of Andrew Safel, 19 of Mike Fuller, and the 12 of David Thompson will be the top 5 in heat race number 1. All right, field stacking up on the back straightaway. Again, Proctor in the 5, Beavers in the 62 on the front row. Third and final Pure Stock qualifier. Drivers, we need you to the staging area. After that, we will have our Steel Block Clash 12-block consolation event and get right into our featured activity. Green flag in the air for our second qualifier. Well, 13 hop in from that third spot. He grabs the early lead. Proctor swallowed up. Going to be Beavers in the second. Yonker in the 31. He moves up into third. Proctor holding on to fourth. And then here comes the 03 of Walters trying to the inside. And spin by your leader. High in turn number 4. And everybody able to avoid contact. So that will bring out what looks to be an early caution with no laps down. All right, as the field stacks up down in turn 3 and 4. Yonker will bring him back to the stripe. One lap was counted as the field got across before the caution came out for Hoppin, so we do have one lap complete. Yonker down to the inside. Beavers up top. Walters in the 03 right behind him as Yonker, one-time winner last year, leads him down that back straightaway. 03 of Walters, good run for him as he started all the way back on the inside of row number 4, and he has moved himself up into second spot to the inside of Beavers. So the 7 starting driver has already gained several spots up into second. It's going to be Beavers in third, followed by the 2X of Bailey Johnson back and forth. Blake Reed, top 5 as they come back for 2 laps to go here in qualifier number 2. And Walters washes out in turn number 1 and 2, so everything he worked for out the window. Tough break for the 03. Started all the way back on the inside of row 4. And
Green flag this time, drivers.
All right, field set to get back to green as they come back for the final couple circuits in our second of 3 qualifiers tonight. Yonker again leads them back down to the 1 and 2. Beavers in second. Blake Reed in that 8 machine trying to get around Bailey Johnson and up into third. Walters trying to beam back some of what he just lost. He got around Proctor moments ago to the inside of Hoppin. The field will be looking at the white flag this time. Right down to the bottom in turn 3 and 4, make it 1 and 2, and trouble hitting further back. Going to be Reed spinning, and Walters nowhere to go. He collides into him, and that brings the caution right back out. All right, as was the indication by Calvin, our head flagman, that was the white flag, as they know they just have a 1-lap dash to the finish here in this second of 3 Pure Stock qualifying events. Again, Nathaniel Yonker and Dylan Beavers on the front row to take us back to that 1-lap dash to the finish. So Green back in the air, and again, Yonker leads him back into 1 and 2. Beavers in second spot. Bailey Johnson down bottom. Sam Hoffman up top. Proctor and Reed side by side behind them as they head down the back straightaway for the final circuit. Johnson trying to cram it to the inside of Beavers. Not going to happen. Going to be Yonker who's taking that second qualifying win. Dylan Beavers in the 62 will come home in the second spot. Going to be Bailey Johnson, the number 2 machine. Good run for third. 13 is Sam Hall. All right, final heat race of the night. Again, Keith Reed and Nick Fogel. Again, Reed, the champion a year ago. He's already a 2-time winner of the points leader this season. Fogel, a 1-time winner in competition in street stocks a year ago. Lindenberg in the 17, as we mentioned, the outside of row number 2, a 1-time winner so far this year. Every machine in the field right now very capable of a victory as they all work off at turn number 4 and get set for the final 5-lap qualifier. Reed grabs that early advantage. Fogel into second spot, side by side. Going to be Spielman in the 11 to the low side of Lindenberg down the back straightaway. Shank in the 71 started in the back. The Ectons right now on the high side at turn 3 and 4. Back to the stripe. Reed will be the leader of lap number 1. Spielman and Fogel continue their battle side by side as Spielman now gets some good, strong advantage off that bottom side off of turn number 2. And that battle closes right up on Keith Reed. Spielman down to the bottom side, hugging the guardrail. Going to be Reed on the outside. Back behind them, Fogel looking on. Lindenberg in the 17L also trying to close up. Very tight 4-car battle. 71 of Carter Shank rounded out the top 5. Still Spielman stuck down low, trying to use some of that low side momentum off that second turn. And he'll have the drag race. Here comes Lindenberg in the 17 to the inside of Fogel. 2 by 2 as they work it back into turn 3 and 4. And it will be 2 laps to go as the battle for the lead comes off that 4th corner. Spielman will grab it down the front straightaway. It will still be Reed by the closest of margins, but Spielman trying to win it wiggles a little bit in turn number 1 and 2, and that gives Reed the advantage to hold on to the number 1 spot down the back straightaway. Lindenberg and Fogel still side by side for third. 71 is Shank in the number 5 spot. White flag in the air. So Keith Reed dodged the bullet early. James Spielman now has lost a little bit in that translation. He was down bottom and making it work very well, but the handle's gone away. Lindenberg's gotten around him for second. Fogel now to the inside of him for third. Checkered will be in the air, and your defending champion and 2-time winner this year, Keith Reed out of Hagerstown, will take the third and final Pure Stock qualifier. Randy Lindenberg will be home in second. The 88 of Nick Fogel winding up in third. The 11 of James Spielman and the 71 of Carter Shank will be the top 5. That will wrap up the heat race qualifying for our Pure Stock drivers as we get set for the final qualifying. So by virtue of the field being trimmed down, we will also trim the laps down to 10.
All right, green flag this time, drivers. 10 laps. 10 laps.
Sam Archer and Chuck Cox the third on the front row. Jonathan DeHaven, DJ Garrett, row number 2. Matt Glandon, Ed Pope. Justin Dillman, Jonathan Raley, Austin Warrenfeld. So will be the drivers in tonight's late model Sportsman consolation event. Archer grabbing that early lead. Going to be Glandon. He is right in the hunt every time, and now he's to the inside of DeHaven. Here comes Garrett at the 81 up into 4th. Dillman to the 16. He'll be side by side with Cox for 5th. Leaders coming back for the first of 10 circuits. Going to be Archer trying to hold that lead. Glandon and that 01 is right to his inside. Archer will slam the door shut for the moment. Down in turn number 1 and 2. Slide up just a little bit. Give Glandon a little bit of a peek down to the bottom side. And that's enough to go to the inside and grab a part of that lead. Down in turn 1 and 2, make it 3 and 4. DeHaven currently in third. As they come back for the latest lap, Garrett in the 81 and the 16 to Dillman. They will be the top 5. Again, we only take the top 2 in tonight's qualifier. And right now, it's going to be Garrett. Hard on the 36 of Archer. He broke away from DeHaven. Good run down the back straightaway for Garrett. He'll go into second spot in turn 3 and 4. DeHaven down to the bottom side. That door was left open barely by Archer. And Jonathan Haven gets through. All the while, the 0-1 of Matt Glendon, he has had himself a good lead after the battle's going on for second on back. The 81 of Garrett comfortably in his transfer position for the moment as they come back for lap number 4. Semi-lates for your main event, we need you to the staging area. Semi-late drivers for your main event to the staging area, please. All right, Matt Glendon will bring him back for cross flags halfway in tonight's consolation event for the 0-1 machine. Going to be the 81 of DJ Garrett in second spot. DeHaven in third. Archer fourth. Raley in the 25. He's to the inside of Dillman. He's trying to battle up there in the fifth spot, but he needs a lot more in a very short period of time as the leaders work their way back into 3 and 4. Again, semi-lates for your main event to the staging area. Semi-late drivers for your main event to the staging area, please. And a spinner by Raley and Pope also with nowhere to go in that 11P. Megan Warrenfelds checked that. They avoided contact with each other. And the caution out here just past the halfway point. Make it the Pope machine actually. As a 25, Raley now continues on. Competitor Adam Denton, Maryland grabbed it early and he was content to see it stay green, but unfortunately problems hit in turn 4. Garrett to the 81. Very strong run. Now he's got to deal with the 13D of DeHaven. Top 2 transfer, 4 laps to go. And DeHaven a good bite off at turn number 4, and that puts Garrett out of the race right now on the 81 machine. He'll have to do some digging to get back inside. So Glendon and DeHaven right now, they are the top 2. Garrett will lead the charge farther back. Sam Archer back and forth. Dillman 5th. Ben Warrenfelds, followed by Cox, Raley, and Pope as they come back for lap number 7. Glendon hugging the bottom of that racetrack in turn number 1 and 2. Going to be DeHaven up a little bit higher. It's not working as they have about a 5 to 6 car length separation between the two. Garrett, laps are winding down for the 81. He's trying to charge hard from that 3rd position. 2 laps to go here in tonight's consolation event. Glendon working still with the same gap over Jonathan DeHaven. Still another 10 or 15 back to the 81 of Garrett, followed by the 11 of Warrenfelds, the 16 of Dillman, and the 36 of Archer. White flag in the air for Matt Glendon. Final time for the 0-1 machine, the 13D of DeHaven. Right now, down the back straightaway, holding on to second solidly. Garrett, Warrenfelds, and Dillman, the top 5. But on this night, it's only the top 2 that make it in. And Matt Glendon and the 0-1 coming away with the victory. The 13D of Jonathan DeHaven will be the final qualifier in tonight's Steel Block Clash 30-lap, $3,000 to win feature event. DeHaven, the final driver to qualify into tonight's 30-lap main event as we get set for featured activity tonight. Semi-late drivers, you need to be heading to the staging area. Semi-late drivers for your main event. Drivers, we need you to the staging area, please. Pace truck will be headed out, and you can make your way out and onto the back straightaway to get staged for your feature event. So again tonight, folks, we have 15 laps coming up for the semi-lates, the 30-lap Steel Block Clash, 20 laps for the crates, and 15 for the pure stocks. And a couple of drivers have some mechanical issues, so we'll see who we have that makes their way out. Drivers, what we're going to do, are fans as well. We'll get 2 of our feature events in, and we will do dual track interviews. Obviously, we do have a curfew we're dealing with. We're kind of fighting an uphill battle tonight by virtue of the excessive heat, trying to move things back a little bit for the race fans, for the drivers, with the excessive heat that we had, and started 8 o'clock with warm-ups instead of our normal 7. So obviously by that, our full moon hiding somewhere tonight, that has created a few of our cautions and a pretty big car count. It has put us under the gun a little bit, so we're going to do our very best to make sure that we get all of our feature events in. So in the interest of saving time, we'll go ahead and run the semi-late and the late model Sportsman driver interviews for Victory Lane, side by side, so the semi-late winner will come out when the late model Sportsman guys are done as well. 81 at Giesemann, 65 at Dylan Wilson back on row 2. Ryan Smith in that 59, the 21 of Jason Stoner back at row 3. Here we go, 15 laps coming up for the semi-lates. Jason Giesemann wasting little time right up the banky with Isaiah Miller. They make a little contact. Giesemann grabs a spot. And here comes Dylan Wilson, the most recent winner in the 65. He and Miller side by side for the number 2 spot. And going to be Miller spinning high. And turn 3 and 4 caution is out. ADZ of Miller, since he was in the caution, that will bring him to the back end of the field, so he'll have some work to do as we get set for the restart. All right, green flag back in the air. This time, Ryan Smith will spin in. Down bottom, and several drivers collected.
Caution is out, guys. Turn 2.
59 of Ryan Smith going on a solo spin, and then everybody else nowhere to go. Collecting, looks like Cody Sykes, one of the drivers there. All right, field stacking up once again. Looks like no laps are complete. We still have one to go. And for the third time, the 81 of Giesemann grabbing that lead. This time Wilson sticking strong to the outside, down bottom, I should say. Oh, and Trottle, Neff, and Stoner get together off turn number 2. Well, Neff in that 03, he was right on that rear quarter panel of Jason Stoner, and they didn't let up, and Stoner went for a little ride sideways down the back straightaway and brings out another caution before a lap is done.
Hey drivers, we're going to single file for this next start. 15 laps, guys. You guys need to calm down. We haven't even completed a lap yet. We're already on our 3rd caution.
Stack back up quickly on the back straightaway. We go back to green flag racing. Again, it's going to be Giesemann with Wilson. Neff. They are the top 3 down the back straightaway. Battle for that number 1 spot. Coming back for lap number 2 in tonight's 15 laps. Semi-late main event to the stripe. Going to be Giesemann. Dylan Wilson, only a car length back for that number 2 spot. 03 of Brady Neff holding on to 3rd. laps will be complete this time by. Almost a third of the way through tonight's Simulate main event. Giesemann and Wilson, a tight 1-2. Neff in third. Then it'll be Snyder back in fourth. Seitz of the 99, holding on to fifth. Wilson trying to find the inside line on Giesemann. Can't quite do it. 2-car length separation down the back straightaway. And we'll be looking at lap number 5 of tonight's 15-lap main event. The books this time by. Now no change in the running order as Giesemann holds that 81 by about 2 to 3 car lengths over Dylan Wilson, the one-time feature winner. Giesemann looking to become the 4th different winner in Simulate action here in the 2024 season here at the Hagerstown Speedway. And trouble hits the 69 of Schneider. He was running a solid Ford. Now he's looking down it at turn 3 and 4. And Schneider makes that hard left-hand turn into the pits. Meanwhile, Giesemann underneath the lap car of Jeremy Mills down the back straightaway. Wilson in his tire tracks. Neff by a lonesome in the number 3 spot. The 99 of Seitz holding on to 4th here at lap number 7. Caution back out here at lap 6. Likewise, 81 of Giesemann the leader, 65 of Wilson in second, 99, or making the 03, we should say, of Neff holding on to third, followed by the 99 of Seitz and the 25 of Jeremy Mills. All right, green flag back in the air one more time. Wilson gets an advantage down bottom, takes a peek, and once again it's going to be Giesemann slamming the door shut. And Wilson pays the price. He's got trouble in the 65. Looks like it could be on that right front. And he stays out on the race. Now he dives it into the pit area. Does get it in, and we stay green flag racing. That opens the door for Giesemann. That was the main pressure that was on that driver. As we mentioned, we've had 3 different winners so far this year. Giesemann still looking to become a new winner this year. Neff in second. Seitz holding on to third. 8 laps will be complete this time by as they take the halfway sign. Steel block class drivers, you can make your way to the staging area. Steel block class drivers for your 30-lap event to the staging area, please. Well, 5 laps to go. This time by off of turn number 4 for the 81 of Jason Giesemann. It's still the 03 of Neff holding on to the number 2 spot. 99K of Seitz, one of the heat race winners in third. Jeremy Mills with a 25 in fourth. Again, steel block clash late models. Your race is coming up next. We need you to the staging area. 1:02 to go, the indication that time by for the 81 of Jason Giesemann. Still well in control. The lap card of Jeremy Mills in between himself and the 03 of Brady Neff. Cody Sides back in third spot as the white flag is about set to come out. The checker down for the 81 of Jason Giesemann, collected his first victory of the season. The 03 of Brady Neff will wind up in second spot. 99K of Cody Sides in third. 25 of Jeremy Mills will wind up in the top four. We will do a few quick words with our winner, Jason Giesemann, giving our late model Sportsman drivers a chance to get lined up on the straightaway for their 30-lap main event. Well, on this hot, humid, full moon night, the battle of attrition was tough from beginning to end, starting with some heat race action. This has been a driver that's had his share of issues this year, but Jason Giesemann finally checks into victory lane, a defending track champion here at Hagerstown Speedway, picking up his first Simulate feature event victory of the 2024 season. Checking the tires, and I tell you what, Jason, that was a wild one here tonight.
Yeah, I was wondering if we were ever going to get a lap in.
Well, you had Dylan Wilson always there on every restart, and yeah, you had to wonder, will we ever get one or two consecutive laps in? It was a rough one tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't raced a whole lot, so I think that has a lot to do with it. I mean, it's no disrespect to any of them drivers. I mean, everybody's a little antsy. I mean, we've had, 4 races, and we're almost in July. So it's going to happen. I mean, I don't think anybody drives like that on purpose. You get excited and you want to go. But Dylan, I mean, anytime we and him are together, hopefully we put on a show, and me and him can battle usually pretty good. He got me there in the heat race, and we were able to sneak by him when he got tight there. But all in all, I mean, the car was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. We have more improvements to do, so hopefully we can get it better. But I'm just glad to be here. I almost forgot what it was like to be here.
Who would you like to thank tonight?
I got to thank Coral Family Eye Care, Mike's Towing and Recovery, Burnhausen Race Cars. Like I've said many times, they've built a badass race car. London Auto Auction, Yinks Fabrication, Sterner Excavating, ACR Cores, Ride On Auto Sales, Appalachian Auto, Dove Fencing, AMB Wise, Streamline, and my daughter Alexis, AMG Detailing, Off-Road Motorsports, and then everybody that helps. I mean, we've struggled. My dad's on the race car yet. Sometimes he's here, tonight he's not, but we've struggled since last year, and we finally made a little bit of headway. I won't say it's good headway, but this is a good start.
Well, you've had your struggles this season. I think it was turnabout was fair play. They had their struggles tonight as too. It all evened itself back out. No matter what, we knew the 81 was going to be in victory lane. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, Jason Giesemann from Annville, Pennsylvania, your defending track champion, picking up his first Simulate victory of the season and the fourth different winner in Simulate action in the 2024 season here at Hagerstown. All right, those late model sportsmen.
Pick drivers 30 laps. Deep breath. You got 30 laps. Don't need to win it on the first lap. Green flag next time around.
All right, 30 top dogs in the steel block clash. We get ready for green flag action, round number 3 of 2024. Quaid grabbing the early lead. Lear in his second. Bear in third. Zook in fourth. Irwin top 5 as they come back for lap number 1 of tonight's 30-lap, $3,000 to win feature event. as Quaid begins to tear away. Top 5 pretty much set. Piper back there in the number 6 spot. Kirshner 7. Going to be Gordon 8th. Devin Hart, the driver, on the move to the outside. Fighting inside that top 10, that 33K machine. Around the 86 of Scott Palmer. Moreland and Shoemaker further back, side by side, just out the top 10. And again, very familiar sight, watching Quaid try and walk the dog on the field. Well, top 3 are secure right now with Quaid, Lear, and Bear pulling away. Ryan Zook leads the charge of some single file competitors right behind him. He is in the number 4 position. Russell Irwin, the Steel Block Bandits point leader, holding on to 5th. Piper in the 21-6. Here comes Hart to the outside of Cody Kirshner. That will move him up into the number 6 spot. Make it 7th. Kirshner back in 8th. Gordon 9th in the 86 of Scott Palmer, the top 10. As that is where things really begin to heat up. He's got Shoemaker and Moreland back in there. As Palmer trying to hold on desperately to a top 10 run. They have really got a log jam coming off at turn 4. Bear, meanwhile, underneath of Lear off turn 2, and he'll grab the number 2 position here in the 6th circuit of tonight's 30-lap, $3,000 to win Super Late Model Sportsman main event. Oh, Derek Quaid right now on the 74 as he works it off turn number 2. Half-turn advantage right now. There in 2nd, Lear 3rd, Ryan Zook in 4th. He's got a couple of car lengths on Russell Irwin. Then Piper back to the number 7 position. Followed by Devin Hart in the 33K. He and Cody Kirshner have had a great battle. Kirshner down to the bottom side. Going to be Hart up top. Now he powers around, meaning Hart to get that position. That puts Devin up into 7th. Kirshner back in 8th. Shoemaker in the 44, 9th, and the 92 of Frankie Gordon rounding out the top 10. 8 quick laps of this 30-lapper quickly in the books, and Derek Quaid already sees the back end of the field in some 3 wide battles. Going to be Archer, Austin Warrenfelds, Brandon Bard, and Ray Ciccarelli all back there running 2x2 racing. He's about a quarter of a straight away from the tail end of the field and wants to begin to dissect some traffic before that BA to Bear closes in any more on him. Leaders back in turn number 1 and 2. We're about to hit the 1/3 mark here in tonight's 30-lap Steel Block Clash. Quaid closing on the back end of the field. He's got about a little less than a half straightaway lead on the B8 of Tyler Bear. 151 of Kyle Lear still in 3rd, and we'll watch Quaid this time by as he begins to dissect lap traffic at the 1/3 mark of tonight's 30-lap main event. 94 of Brandon Bard right in front. Then the 11 of Warrenfelds, as we mentioned, 49 of Ciccarelli, and the 36 of Sam Archer. They're the first 4 drivers in line. As Bear tries, no pun intended, to bear down on that 74 machine and see if he can get anything accomplished here in some lap traffic. Meanwhile, the driver continuing on the move is Devin Hart. He is way down from your leader by the time Quaid gets off at turn number 2. He's almost a half track down to the 33K, but again, Hart gets around the 21 of Piper. That'll move him up into the number 6 position as he begins to close on the 22 of Irwin. Meanwhile, our leader, Derek Quaid, off turn number 4. Heavy lap traffic. He got around Warrenfelds. He's got Ciccarelli and Archer to deal with. He goes and splits the difference between Ciccarelli and Bard, and now has 3 lap machines between himself and Bear. Field off at turn number 4. Going to be Quaid able to breathe just a little bit. 1 lap car to deal with. That's Archer. He gets to his inside. As a 24 of Kenny Moreland, tough break for that driver. The Waldorf, Maryland campaigner, number 2 of the Steel Block Clash points, pulls it off into the pit area here on lap number 13. And Quaid makes his move back in turn number 3 and 4. Coming up on the 13B of Jonathan DeHaven, one of the drivers that ended up coming through the consolation event tonight. And he'll go underneath of him. Bear also dissecting traffic. That gap between 1st and 2nd. Bear almost got together with the 36 of Sam Archer. There was contact between those two. And now trying to figure out how to get around the 36 machine. Quaid off at turn number 4 as we put halfway on the board. 15 in the books and 15 to go. And Tyler Baer definitely closing on the 74 of Derek Quaid. He's held up by DeHaven. Now he's going to work him to the outside. Not to be for the moment. And that brings Tyler Baer to within 3 car lengths down the back straightaway in the battle for this $3,000 to win Steel Block Championship. Quaid to the outside of DeHaven. Baer is right there. 1 car length separation here at lap number 16. And Quaid now trying to get around him does. Baer may have an opening down to the bottom side of DeHaven. Not to be, as he has to back off just a little bit. 1 lap car separation, but only about 2 car lengths between the leaders as he work it back in 3 and 4. And still heavy lap traffic to deal with. Brad Omps in the 5. The 01 of Matt Glandon dead ahead here at lap number 17. Kyle Lear in the 151 still running in that 3rd position. He has got a little bit of a gap to catch up. And now trouble down the back straightaway. Quaid made a little contact with Brad Omps. Here goes Baer to the outside. Side by side for the lead in tonight's Steel Block Clash. Quaid goes up the track. They make contact. Baer powers around to the outside. And at lap 18, Tyler Baer, your new leader in tonight's Steel Block Clash event. And now he'll go to the high side of Brad Omps and try and grab it. He's got 2 or 3 car lengths on Quaid. Going to be Lear holding on to the number 3 spot. Ryan Zook in 4th. 22E of Russell Irwin. And then here comes a 33K of Devin Hart back to the number 6 position. $19 on the board. It will be 10 to go when they come back to the stripe. And once in front, Tyler Baer has been able to dissect lap traffic. He closed on Derek Quaid, got around him, and now has been able to pull away as the 99 of Cody Lear pulls in on lap number 19. Baer back to the stripe, and for the moment he's got some breathing room. Maybe 1 lap car for a long time. So these drivers have gotten through the worst of it here under this green flag condition with 10 laps to go. Quaid sees Baer, but he's a good 15 car lengths back to the number 2 spot. Lear still mired in lap traffic, holding on to 3rd. It'll be Russell Irwin 4th, and still Devin Hart in that 33K. Ryan Zook of the 28, he's buried up in there as well within that top 5. He's still working some lap traffic. So down the back straightaway right now, the B8 of Tyler Baer, number 2 in the Steel Block Bandit points, just a point back of Russell Irwin. This is not a bandit race, it's a Steel Block Clash in a collaboration between 3 racetracks here in the Northeast. But both Baer and Russell Irwin, the points leader, of which he trails him by 1 point, had a night off. They're headed to the Lakeview Speedway in South Carolina next weekend. But the last 3 weekends of racing at Dixieland Speedway in North Carolina, Virginia Motor Speedway, and most recently Talladega Short Track down in East Tioga, Alabama, Baer has been the runner-up. The B8 still looking for that first victory in Steel Block competition and hoping that he can do it here at Hagerstown. Working turn number 1 and 2 right now. 7 laps to go here in tonight's late model Sportsman event. Baer closing on the Gerald Davis machine, and with 6 circuits to go, lap traffic not really going to be much of a factor. Derek Quaid about a quarter of a straightaway back in 2nd in the 74 machine. Kyle Lear in the 151 still holding on to 3rd. Zook in the 28Z has closed up on him by about a car length. That's the battle for the number 3 spot. And Devin Hart was closing on Russell Irwin. Now he has faded Irwin solidly in that number 5 spot. 5 to go for Tyler Baer this time by. Baer working into turn number 3 and 4. Quaid still with a clear view of him, but unfortunately a good half turn down as Baer closes up on Augusta, West Virginia driver Gerald Davis as he worked it back into turn number 1 and 2. 26 on the board tonight here at Hagerstown. 2 other drivers may be in front. That's Ray Ciccarelli and the 86 of Scott Palmer with 3.5 circuits to go. Right now, Tyler Baer in pretty good shape as the Rockbridge Baths Virginia driver negotiates turn number 3 and 4 and comes back for 3 to go. Lear in the 151 has edged away a little bit from Ryan Zook, not by much. And again, Russell Irwin still remains in that top 5. Leaders heading down into turn number 3 and 4. The 2 to go indication coming up in just a few moments as Bear works the outside of Ciccarelli. Maybe the 86 of Scott Palmer could be the last car he'll have to deal with. 2 to go for Tyler Bear this time by. Great cushion for a lead with a lap and a half to go for Tyler Bear as the B8 works it back down into 3 and 4. Palmer's number 86 down to the low side. Bear swings it wide, comes back. White flag in the air in tonight's Steel Block Clash Late Model Series. 74 Quaid across the stripe as Bear closes up on the 86 of Scott Palmer, the only driver he'll have to deal with and may not have to. Good enough lead. He can ease off that throttle down into turn number 3 and 4. The V8 machine looking for that Steel Block Clash victory. So a weekend off from the Bandits, and he'll steal $3,000 at Hagerstown. Tyler Bear takes the Steel Block Clash late model victory. Kerry Quaid, the current points leader, coming home in second spot tonight. Two-time winner Kyle Lear in third. 28Z of Ryan Zook will be fourth. And the Steel Block Bandit point leader, Russell Orland, makes up the top 5. Frustration out after 3 straight Steel Block Bandit runs of runner-up. Comes to Hagerstown in a very, very tough field of late model Sportsman drivers and does a great job to pick up the $3,000 event victory here at Hagerstown Speedway. Picking up round number 3 of our Steel Block Clash. 2 events left to go this year at the Winchester Speedway, but the V8 of Tyler Bear winning a tough battle in lap traffic with one of the best in the business in Derek Quaid, and coming away with a victory tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Great late models lining up all the back straightaway. Their 20-lap main event coming up here in just a few moments, followed by our Pure Stocks. But again, a driver from a legendary family, and he's climbing out of the race car right now. Give it up for him, Tyler Bear, your Steel Block Clash late model champion tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Humid, full moon night. You didn't let that bother you, Tyler. That car was good right out of the gate. But took me through that part where you had to close down on Derek. You knew some lap traffic. It stayed green flag racing. Just tell me what was going through your mind and what you were seeing out there as you guys were closing on lap traffic and eventually got there for the challenge for the lead.
Well, the lap cars, they've moved around for us. But when you're leading like that and you get into a big pack of them, you don't know where to go, where to be, or where the second place guy really is. You try to look for whoever's signaling you, but a lot of times you're just trying to focus and go. And I run him down, and I just had a little opening down there, and I thought, well, I'm either going to run in the fence or I'm going to pass him.
Well, you did a fantastic job, and I almost got to believe that burnout here on the front straightaway was saying, finally, victory lane. Looking at some of the stats on the Steel Block Bandit Series, you've had a very consistent season. The last 3 races, runner-up finishes, and a very tight points battle with Russell Irwin. But tonight, you knew you had the capability of doing it. You still got several races on that Bandit Series to get some more victories, but this had to be a good one for you tonight. Finally get something off your chest.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I mean, we've run, I think, second. The boy that works on this deal for me most of the time there to shop and works his butt off at the racetrack. He said, I think we're going to take the B8 off and put 2 on it, and we didn't end up doing it. But I gotta thank my dad, and if it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't have this ride. Wayne Fitzgerald, all the good people that helped me. I mean, I couldn't do it without them. Wesley Page, Bluegrass Farms, D&K Beverly, South Lakes Cattle Company, Dottie's Country Store, the motor, Don Blackshear, Ray City Performance. All my motors are flawless. I mean, I can't thank everybody enough. Brian, Kyle, Santa Claus, my wife, my kid, Frankie. He hadn't been able to come with us, but really appreciate what he does. And just want to thank everybody.
I'm telling on myself because it was ages ago that I saw your grandfather Tommy Bear win a lot of races against Busty Walters, Ray Doble, Buddy Campbell down at the old Virginia Motor Speedway. Had a great career watching your dad Booper do some great things. That family tradition has continued. I was getting ready to say Booper, but once again, congratulations for a great effort. You're keeping that Bear family tradition alive and well in late model racing circles.
I really appreciate it, and like you said about my dad, my granddad, that's probably a lot of my big advantage for a lot of people is to have teachers like that. I mean, if I didn't have him or my granddad, hell, I probably wouldn't even be able to get this thing in low gear. They've taught me everything that I know about driving and what we need to do to the car and just everything.
You go enjoy it with all these folks here. Tyler, great job. We hope we get to see you again somewhere down the line.
Thank you. Thank all you fans for sticking it out. I know it was hot, but we got it in.
All right, Tyler Bear, your Steel Block Clash winner tonight here at Hagerstown. All right, here we go. 20 lap citizens in tonight's Crate Late Model feature event. The third time they've been here this year. Andy Anderson, Ray Love winners. We will have a new Crate Late Model winner tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Seven of Allman grabs a lead, threading the needle right up through the middle. That's going to be Cody Breeden. He's trying to kind of get it. Trading lead down to the inside. Derek McGee outside. He's not done. Here comes Breeden down to the inside. Trying to grab the lead and take about 3 to 4 positions, and does here on lap number 1. Well, he did his dirty work early. Lap number 1. Now he's just trying to check out. The outside of row number 2 for Cody Breeden is where he started. Allman into second. As one of our Witt drivers, that's going to be the 33 star, looks like, of Alan Witt Jr. off the pace down the back straightaway, and he'll pull to the infield area. Meanwhile, torrid battle from second on back, going to be Allman. He's in the number 2 spot, and caution is out here early. And looks like we do have debris that's being checked here on the straightaway right up front, so that brings down an early caution with 2 laps complete. 34, Craig Perrell in the 14H at your point leader Tyler Horst back there in row number 4. Crittenden and Braden Anderson make up the top 5 rows with 2 down, 18 to go in tonight's Crate Late Model feature event. All right, so Breeden grabs that lead. Going to be the 7 of Allman climbing the banking. He'll give up a couple of spots down below. Going to be McGee in the 96 trying to get it. Booth being the B2 right there as well. Perrell moves up into 5th. Going to be Trayton Lee in the number 6 position. Side by side, Witt and Horst. Top 2 drivers in our Crate Late Model Series points as they come back to the stripe for lap 3. It is a log jam from 4th on back. Craig Perrell is in the charge of that as the 7 of Allman right behind him. The 14H of Tyler Horst. And now trouble may have hit the 37 of Scooter Tippett. He's off the pace. Maybe a flat tire down the back straightaway on that right rear. He'll climb the banking in turn number 3 and 4. And the Welcome Maryland driver is still up there. We'll see whether he dives it down pit road and will stay green flag racing. Another tough break for Scooter Tippett as it's going to be Cody Breeden leading back into turn number 3 and 4. We'll hit the 1/4 mark of tonight's Crate Late Model feature event. 5 in the books and 15 to go. Breeden in the 14. 10 car lengths on Brian Booz. Another 3 back to Derek McGee, Craig Perrell, and Tyler Horst. They are the top 5 here in the early going. Back behind them, going to be Witt in the 33, the 8 of Jeremy Pokert, and he now is on the move. Down underneath of Witt, he's challenging for the number 6 position. He'll get it down the back straightaway. Allman, the pole sitters, drop back. Then it's going to be Anderson and Trayton Lee as we come back for lap number 6. Allman, a little out of sorts off of that turn, and when he almost bounced off the wall, he came right down the path of a couple of drivers side by side. That clears itself up. Braden Anderson was 1. Trayton Lee was the other one. He gets around him as we're pretty much single file. Other than maybe the lead. Booz in the B2 closing the gap up here at lap number 7. He's down underneath the Breeden machine, and it's going to be Cody holding on to that spot. Meanwhile, down the back straightaway, another casualty here in the early going. And again, 37 to Scooter Tippett. He had come back out onto the racetrack, but unfortunately back in the pits once again. Challenge for the lead. Booze to the bottom side. And gonna be Cody Breeden winning the battle back to the stripe here at the 8th circuit. But Booze is right there on the bottom side this time. He'll make it work. The low side advantage off turn number 2. And Brian Booze, the new leader, down the back straightaway. Breeden in second. McGee third. Peril in fourth. Tyler Horst in the top 5. Coming up on halfway, this time by. Booze once in front, begins to open up the lead. Cross flags for the driver of the B2 as 10 are down, 10 to go in tonight's Crate Late Model feature event. Booze started on the inside of road number 4 and had some toughies to get around early. Cody Breeden still with a very remarkable run at the very beginning. He's still got a solid second. Good run for Millsboro, Delaware driver Derek McGee. He's still in third. Craig Peril in fourth. Tyler Horst, the point leader, in fifth. The 8 of Jeremy Pilkerton back in the 6th spot. Jacob Witten, the 33, holding on to 7th. 8th position on the racetrack as they come back across the stripe. This time going to be the 25 of Braden Anderson. 9th to the 2T of Trayton Lee. And your posted of Preston Allman in the number 7 machine, rounding out the top 10 as we begin the second half of tonight's 20-lap Crate Late Model feature. Pure Stocks for your main event to the staging area. Pure Stock drivers for your main event to the staging area. Leaders off at turn 2, the 11 of Jimmy McBee, the driver that started a little bit further back, the outside of row number 5. He's also drifting down to the inside of turn number 3 and 4.
Yellow.
Caution, meanwhile, on the speedway, got a spinner
High and 4.
in turn number 4. Trayton Lee and Preston Allman in row 5. Again, Pure Stocks. Your main event is next. Pure Stocks to the staging area. All right, field stacked up in turn number 3 and 4 as they come back. Booze and Cody Breeden. And Booze gets a little bit of an advantage here at the start-finish line. Let's see how it goes in turn number 1 and 2. He'll be hugging down to the bottom side. Breeden starts up high, drives it down low. Couple of car length separation there. Going to be McGee now into third. Peril in fourth. Pilkington to the outside of Horst. And that's a battle for the number 5 spot. And they are right up on the deck lid of Craig Peril as they come back. 2x2 racing from third on back. Peril trying to get to the outside of McGee. It's going to be Horst and Pilkington side by side. And Pilkington again trying to use that top shelf move that works so well in the heat race. Track conditions are changing. But they are stacked up from third on back. McGee, Peril, Horst, and Pilkington. And again, Pilkington to the outside, trying to make something happen here in the late going of tonight's Crate Late Model feature event. Caution again on the speedway. Spinner down to the inside of turn number 2. That's the 90 of Matt Tepper once again. Field stacked up on the backstretch. Booze and Breeden. They have been the 2 leaders tonight in the Crate Late Model feature event as they work down into turn number 3 and 4 and get set for another green. Field back off into 1 and 2. Going to be Booze trying to hook down to the bottom side. This time Breeden gets a little bit better ride through that 1-2 turn. And he's got about a half car length advantage down the back straightaway. Booze still has the inside line. Going to be Breeden up top. Booze down to the bottom side. Side by side for the number 1 spot. 5 laps to go. The edge goes back to Breeden at the line. Going to be Peril in the 34C running in third. McGee fourth. Pilkington in fifth. This time Booze gets the advantage off the bottom side of turn 2. He'll reassume the lead with 4.5 laps to go. Craig Peril, the 34C, holding a steady third. The 96 of Derek McGee, the 8 of Jeff Pilkington, Jeremy Pilkington. They are the top 5. 14H of Tyler Horst, your point leader, back in 6th. The 33 of Jacob Witt, 7th. Drayden Lee in the number 2, holding on to 8th. 25 of Braden Anderson, 9th, and the top 10 made up by the number 23 machine of Branson Woodward. Three circuits to go that time by, and once in front. Again, Brian Booz able to stretch out that advantage a little bit over Cody Breeden. McGee now making the challenge for third down the back chute. Peril on the high side. 2 to go here in tonight's Crate Late Model event. Top 2 positions fairly secure. Craig Peril, the 34C, has had himself a great run tonight on the inside of road number 3 for the Clearbrook, Virginia driver. 96 of McGee still within striking distance as the white flag comes out for Brian Booz this time by. Greencastle, Pennsylvania driver working his way back into turn number 1 and 2. As we mentioned, this is only the third appearance by the Crate Late Models in 2024. Andy Anderson took the opener. Ray Love Jr. popped in a few weeks ago and picked up the victory. And now on night number 3, a third different driver in victory lane as Greencastle, Pennsylvania's Brian Booz takes the crate win. Cody Breeden, Craig Peril, Derek McGee, and Jeremy Pilkerdin will be your top 5. And the 8 of Jeremy Pilkerdin. They are the top 5. Folks, we are going right to our Pure Stock main event to go ahead and get the rest of our program in. We will have interviews with our Crate Late Model and Pure Stock winners at the culmination of tonight's 15-lap finale. Here's how they're going to line up. The 13 is Sam Hoffman. All right, field stacked up as we have 22 machines tonight in pure stock action. 15-lap finale tonight. Hoffman, Spielman lead us to the green flag. All right, leaders off at 1 and 2, and they are stacked up 3 wide almost. Andrew Safell trying to make something happen. Here comes Evan Faust, 3 wide. He shut the gap. Goes between Spielman, Safell, Hoffman, and now climbs the banking in turn number 3 and 4. Still a great battle, but Faust will be your leader at lap number 1. Hoffman, for the moment, holds that number 2 spot. Safell underneath as Hoffman goes way up the banking. Spielman gets a good run. He'll move into 3rd spot. Going to be Fisher in 4th. Younger trying to move up to the action. He's got a part of a 3-wide battle right up the middle. And that's up into 4th position. Faust will lead him back for lap number 2. So Evan Faust right now up top with 2 of the 15 in the books. 3 car lengths over Andrew Safell. Yonker in the 31. He's still making moves. He gets around the 11 of Spielman up into 3rd. 62 of Dylan Beavers. Right now the top 5, Hoffman and let's see, going to be the 32 of Tyler Fisher down to the bottom side. As we've had some great 2 and 3 wide battles. Another one with Keith Reed trying to shoot right up the middle between Hoffman and Fisher. And that will put him in the number 6 spot as he climbs the banking off turn 2. Safell and Faust, these were the 2 that battled it hard the last time the Pure Stocks were here, with Evan coming away with his 2nd victory of the year. Andrew trying to get the victory. 31 of Nathaniel Yonker holding on to 3rd as Beavers looks to the inside of Spielman here on lap number 4. Boy, a great log jam from 4th on back as Beavers and Spielman begin that battle side by side. Then there's Reed right behind him. Then Hoffman, Fisher, as well as Fogel, Fuller, and Lindenberg. A lot of good drivers back in the pack fighting to find their way through as 5 of our 15 are in the book. Safell had closed a little bit as Faust had been taking a high line and kind of takes that middle to high line still. Safell trying to hug that bottom guardrail as he work it off turn 2. Further back for 4th, 3-wide battle once again. Yonker is 3rd. The battle for 4th is going to be Beavers to the inside of Keith Reed, or make it Reed to the outside of Beavers, and the 11 of James Spielman. And that will put the 8 of Reed up into 4th. Beaver's not done yet. He's right there as well. Spielman right behind him. Then Fuller, the Fogel machine, Hoffman, Lindenberg, and Fisher. As their drivers up in the top 11, coming back for lap number 7. Top 3 drivers very secure in their positions. A good 10, 15 car lengths for Faust over Andrew Seffel. Another 3 or 4 back to the 31 of Yonker. And then a big gap back to Keith Reed, who would be in dire need of a caution right now. The two-time here at the Hagerstown Speedway. I mentioned he, along with Evan Faust, they are 2-time winners. Randy Lindenberg has got 1. Faust trying to become the first 3-time winner of the 2024 season. 9 laps complete when they come back to the stripe this time. And Faust continuing to check out. He'll see the 5 to go indication when they come back to the stripe this time by. And Seffel slowly falling into the clutches of Nathaniel Yonkers in that 31 machine. Bobbles a little bit, does Seffel, as he comes off at turn number 4. 8 of Keith Reed, 62 of Dylan Beaver, still comfortably. They are in the top 5. 19 of Fuller, holding on to the 6th position. Caution, though, it's Lindenberg in the 17 spinning down to the inside of turn number 4. Again, Evan Faust in the lead. Going to be the 42 of Andrew Seffel, still in search of that first victory. These were the top 2 drivers in the previous pure stock race. 31 of Nathaniel Yonker, 3rd. The 8 of Keith Reed. The 62 of Dylan Beavers. They will be the top 5. 19 of Mike Fuller. The 11 of James Spielman. 88 of Nick Fogel. 13 of Sam Hoffman. And the 32 of Tyler Fisher. Top 10 with 5 laps to go. And the leader's back in turn number 1 and 2, and that caution helped Keith Reed tremendously, as we mentioned. He is now on the inside of Yonker, squeezes him up. You can see Yonker, a little contact with that outside wall. He holds on to 4th, though. It's going to be Beavers in the 62 right behind him in 5th as Faust goes way wide, and they make it back for lap number 11. Seffel still within striking distance. He now begins to fish around the bottom side as the 78 of Faust holding about a 2-car length advantage. This time Yonker, he'll pull to the inside of Reed, and they'll be dead even down the back straightaway for that 3rd position. Seffel still hunting after the Faust machine. Lap number 12 on the board this time by as we're getting down to it. Beavers in the 62 watching that battle between Reed and Yonkers. He's only a car length or so back in the number 5 spot. And it still looks like Faust almost looks like he wants to leave that door open. Seffel, just when it looks like he can walk on through, it slams shut. And the Knoxville, Maryland driver, Evan Faust, now will look at the 2 to go sign, this time off turn number 4. Three or 4 car lengths advantage for Faust right now. Another 2 back for Seffel over Keith Reed. Yonkers now drops back into 4th. Going to be Beavers. The top 5 are single file. Fuller, Fogel, Spielman, Carter Shank, and now Blake Reed. They're the top 10. White flag in the air for Evan Faust. Final lap on a very hot and humid night here at Hagerstown Speedway. 4 very big races here at the Capital of Dirt Track Racing. It wraps up with our first 3-time winner of the season as Evan Faust claims a pure stock win tonight. Andrew Seffel, Keith Reed, Nathaniel Yonkers, and Dylan Beavers will end up in your top 5. Well, folks, that'll wrap it up tonight at Hagerstown Speedway. We thank you so very much for being a part of our program on this very hot and humid, sweltering evening here. We appreciate you working with us. We wanted to work with you and start things back a little bit later tonight with an 8 o'clock start to get that. Out of the race cars and you leave the speedway. Give it up for Brian Booz and Evan Faust, our final two winners tonight. Hey, by golly, Brian, I want to start with you. I thought you and Evan were playing chicken here, but then it was almost like we had to figure out rock, paper, scissors. Who got here first and which way do I go? But you were the most recent winner, not the most recent. What a great run. I mean, we watched Cody Breed early, the way he knifed through some cars and said, oh, Lord, is it his night? Then all of a sudden, for some reason, this B2 came to light.
Yeah, I don't know if we went harder on tire than those other guys did, but halfway through the race, it did start to come on, and it was a lot of fun racing with Cody. He's a super good kid. He's very clean. You know you can just run right up next to him, and nothing's going to go wrong. They've got a good car. We help him out with it a little bit. He's got a real good car, and he's going to win a lot more races. But I got to thank all my guys. Kyle works hard. Danny, Robbie, my mom, Dad. Mason, my son, at home. Devin at home. He's never here when I win. My girlfriend, Annette, she lets me do all this stuff, trying to have some fun. We broke our super stuff right before Speed Week, so that kind of shut that program down, so we've just been playing with this.
Well, that's okay, and it was a very good field of crates tonight. It was a good-looking field, and obviously you guys are going to be back. Your season for you guys, and we're almost at the halfway point, is really just starting, because this is only the third race, but 3 races, 3 different guys in victory lane. You're going to be back here next week, though, I think. You going to make it number 2 in a row?
I don't know. Somebody will be in the car next week. We'll see who it is.
All right. Well, Brian, superb effort tonight. Congratulations on a very good run.
Thank you very much.
All right. Brian Booz, our crate late model winner, his first of the 2024 season here at the Hagerstown Speedway. And while we go with a guy that picked up his first, we go with a guy that's found his way into victory lane all too often this year. He's becoming used to it. That's Evan Faust in the 78. Picking up that third one. My golly, Evan, you had a lot of restarts tonight. It was a crazy night for pure stocks in them heat races, but the feature turned out a lot better. But once again, there's that battle with you and Andrew Safel right up front.
Yeah, Andrew's definitely right there. I could hear him a couple times and kind of figuring out where to go. The track is super slick, so it's kind of hard to figure out exactly where to go. And yeah, that one wasn't easy. That was probably the toughest one I've had so far.
So was the high part where you wanted to be? Is that, I mean, you talked about the slick conditions. Was that really where you wanted to be? Because Andrew obviously realized, well, if he's going high, I got to try something else and go low. And just when it looked like he might have you off the turn, door gets slammed shut. You were able to get that momentum and keep that lead down the straightaway.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of was leaning high side. I know Andrew said he was good on the low side. Everybody said he was good on the low side after the heat race, and his car usually likes the higher side, and I could tell, I could see the gap, and then I could see it closing. I could kind of hear him, so I figured I'd get down the bottom and see what that was all about. Kind of played defense the last couple laps, especially when we had to restart 10, what was that, 5 to go. So, I ran a couple laps and seen the gap closing, and just figured I'd just try to make him go somewhere else.
We touched on it before after the second victory. I mean, you were so close. We could tell by the end of last season this car was coming around. What has been the biggest difference? And I know we asked that question the last time, but it just really is amazing to see what this 78 car is doing. 3 victories as we get close to the halfway point in the season. Did you envision this at this point in the year this year?
I don't think so. I mean, when we started off the year in practice this year, I knew the car was completely different. We went to work in the off season, like I said the first time. But we had a different program last year. I mean, I was learning, and staying on the bottom and just learning how to get around, learn how to finish races, learn how to race clean, and so we're on a different path this year. I mean, the car's better. We're here to win every week. We're not coming to learn anything. We're here to win. So. Just a combination, just getting the experience behind the wheel is probably the biggest thing, and then just like you said, just keep working on it in the shop.
Who would you like to thank tonight?
My family, all my daughters are here. My wife, God for sure. I messed up and missed that one the last 2 times. And, that's the one you don't want to miss. So I definitely want to thank my Lord and Savior there. My uncle, I can't do without him. My dad's here supporting me every week. Andrew, Danny, my nephew Matthew's here. Just everybody, like I said, that helps out. And just have a good time, man.
Well, tonight was survival. For the most part, the Pure Stocks had a good feature event, but you had a few of the restarts that you had to survive on, and then you had another competitor down below. But great job again tonight. 3 in the books. We'll see if you can do number 4 next week.
All right, we'll be back. Thank you.
All right, Evan Phelps checking in for his 3rd Pure Stock win as we get close to the halfway point in our Hagerstown season.